All right, everybody, we are here with our Week 9 power rankings for the NFL. So, if you are an NFL fan and you want to see where your team falls on RetroRecap's list, you are in the right spot. Thank you guys for voting on the poll I made a week ago about whether you want to see a live stream or do you want to see this pre-recorded. You guys voted to want to see a live stream, so here we are. It's great to see everybody in the house. Let's get it right into it. I'm not even wasting any time here. What's up, everybody? It's your boy RetroRecap, and once again, like I said, I am here to deliver you my power rankings for the NFL. All right, so now we hadn't done one of these in a while because of just a lot of things going on and timing and everything, but we're here. And so what we're gonna do, instead of me making a category, because this tier maker, you can only fit but so much on one screen for you guys to see. So instead of fitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way down to 32, I broke them up into brackets for what I think you guys care about the most. I think you guys clearly care about the top 5. I mean, the top 5 teams, that's really what matters. Then we start getting in 6 through 10, then 11 through 20, and then 21 through 32. No one really cares about those teams, unless that team is in your market, of course. But from an overall standpoint, I mean, who really gives a shit? I mean, like, if you're in the bottom half of the league, you're probably not going to make the playoffs anyway, except if you're like in the NFC South, where you still got a chance. But outside of that, you're probably not going to be there. So, let's go ahead and get started. So, and of course, this video will be available on VOD for anybody that missed it. But you guys want to see it live, so here we go. All right, so starting off at the number 1 team. Actually, let's start off at number 5. So here we're going to go 5 through 1 and then go 6 through 10. Probably doesn't make any sense, but it's going to make sense today. So my number 5 team in the league right now is a team. Actually, you know what? Actually, we're going to start with number 1. We're going to start with 1. It just makes more sense to explain how I did this. So the number 1 team in the league in my power rankings is the Philadelphia Eagles. They are 7-1. Their only loss came to the Jets a couple weeks ago, which I don't know how they lost that game. But you're 7-1. You're the only team in the league with 1 loss. Your defensive line is amazing. Jalen Hurts is always going to keep you in games. You got receivers galore. Like I said, the Jordan Davis. You know what I'm saying? You got guys back there that can cover and play in the trenches, and you got a quarterback that's mobile and can keep you in games. Sometimes he can get you out of games too, but at the end of the day, they're 7-1. Number 2 team on my list is the Baltimore Ravens. Now, say what you want to say. I said this in my podcast yesterday. They could easily be 6-0. I mean, they could easily be 8-0. Reality is, coulda, woulda, shoulda. They could realistically be the only undefeated team on this list. Losses to Indy, lost to Pittsburgh, kind of messed that up, but they're 6-2. A couple weeks ago, you just demolished the Lions, but we're talking about power rankings as of right now. What have you done for me lately? And they beat the Arizona team that they were supposed to beat. Now, it shouldn't have been that close, but nonetheless, they beat the Arizona team that they were supposed to be on the road. And I don't care what anybody says. Going on the road is not an easy thing. I don't care if you're playing a bad team or a good team. Going on the road is not easy. So for the fact that you were able to beat a team on the road that was taking it to the New York Giants. They took it to a couple teams. Arizona, like they're 1-7, but they took it to a couple teams. So they weren't nothing to sleep on per se, but Kyler Murray isn't back, so yeah. So the Baltimore Ravens handle business. They are my number 2 team at 6-2. Number 3 team. This was kind of tough between Jacksonville and the Miami Dolphins, because Jacksonville was on a 5-game win streak. So it was kind of tough to put Miami there, but Miami, for the most part, has been consistent all year round. Their offense is explosive. Tyreek Hill is a beast. Tua is having a great year. Jalen Waddle and those boys. They beat the Patriots. So it's nothing to snooze at, because the Patriots are what? It's like 2-6. So the Patriots, it's not like the Patriots are any good, but nonetheless, you still handle business. And so you had to be rewarded for handling business. What did they beat the Patriots by? The final score of the Patriots was 31-17. And actually, honestly, 31 points ain't even that much. What's up, Jason? 31 points ain't even that much, honestly, considering the Dolphins standards. Dolphins, honestly, this kind of offense should be putting them almost 40 points a game. But nonetheless, you handled your business when you beat a team that you were supposed to beat, and the Patriots are garbage. I mean, I'm really surprised that they got 2 wins. I think in my early season prediction, I think I had the Patriots only winning 3 games, and it was much sooner than what it is now. They got 2 wins before that I even, like, faster than I thought. All right, number 4 team on my power rankings. Like I said, this is a what have you done for me lately. I try not to look too far back in the past because, you know, the past is the past. But we're talking about what did you do in week 8, and have you been streaking up into week 8? And so the Jacksonville Jaguars have won 5 in a row. You beat a good Pittsburgh team in terms of their defense. You know what I'm saying? Jacksonville is on a roll right now, and Jacksonville is only giving up 156 points on a year. So their defense has been somewhat okay. Like I said, it's not been the best, but it's enough to hang them in there. They're putting points on the board. How can you argue against a team that's currently trending upward? They've won 5 in a row, and I do not know who they play next. Let's see. The matchup that they got next is against. Oh, they got to play San Francisco. They got to play San Francisco, and they got to play San Francisco. Well, they play them at home. So that's going to be a good game because San Francisco is in my top 10. So that's going to be a good game. That'll determine. We'll see how good Jacksonville relieves. Yeah, even though I know San Francisco's been struggling a little bit, but they got injuries. McCaffrey was injured, but I think he played the last game. On Deebo Samuel. So they got some injuries there, but they did make some trade acquisitions. They just got Chase Young, and they got. I'm assuming he's going to play in this game. Chase Young is going to make a difference against that Jacksonville Jaguars defense. So we'll see. Number 5, even though this team got embarrassed, I think they won like 16 straight games against the Broncos. And I mean, all streaks are going to eventually come to an end, of course. But the Kansas City Chiefs are still a good team. They didn't do anything to address their wide receivers. But you know, you still got Patrick Mahomes, you still got Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you got Patrick Mahomes, of course, you're going to always be in games. I did not like how they looked against the Broncos. And I know they talking about, well, Patrick Mahomes had a stomach flu. And, you know, I've had stomach problems. And so I know how that can affect you. But you lost to the Broncos. You lost to the Denver Broncos. And then not only that, you only put up 9 points. And I know receivers were dropping the ball. And I get that. You know what I'm saying? This is not a Patrick Mahomes fault. But still, put up 9 points. I can't get down with that. I can't get down with that. All right. So that is my top 5. Eagles, Ravens, a lot of AFC teams here, like as you can see. But the AFC is the better conference, right? I mean, outside of the Eagles, and you know, I would have had the 49ers. The 49ers were in my top, were not my number 1 team for a while until this 3-game losing streak that they've been on. So the Eagles are the only team in the NFC in my top 5. Everybody else is AFC. And of course, this could be debated about, okay, Ravens, Dolphins. I mean, but Ravens have won 3 in a row. Like I said, they should be 8-0. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. They should have been 8-0. The Dolphins, yeah, they are a good team. They put up 70 points against the Broncos, but they also lost to Buffalo pretty badly too. And they lost to the Eagles. Even though the Eagles aren't nothing to shab at, they are my number 1 team. But you lost to a team in Buffalo that by a lot too. What was the score, like 48-20? It was something crazy. They beat the bricks off of them. A week after they put up 70, Buffalo put up 48 on you. So, all right, number 6 team on my list. This is probably going to be a surprise to some people. And it's a team that actually my Baltimore Ravens are coming up against next. And that is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. Coached by Pete Carroll, Geno Stone. They just got the guy Leonard from, what's up, Clemens? David Clemens, what's up, man? How you feeling today? Welcome into the Power Rankings, NFL Power Rankings Week 9 edition. Appreciate you coming through, man. Seattle, they just got Leonard. They on a 2-game win streak. They come into Baltimore. Their defense has been pretty solid. This is debatable. This was debatable because I could have put the Lions here, But the reason why I put Seattle here instead of the Lions, because Seattle beat the Lions early in the year in that head-to-head matchup. So I put the Seahawks here because of that reason. You beat the Lions, and you're 5-2. Pete Carroll can coach. Like I said, who predicted this team would be 5-2? Like, I mean, Seattle, like after getting rid of Russell Wilson, people will always, well, what is Pete? Because people always go back and wonder, is Pete Carroll really a good coach? Because you had the Legion of Boom, and then you blew that one Super Bowl where you called that pick play instead of running Marshawn Lynch. People were actually wondering if Pete Carroll was a good coach. Oh, you got rid of Russell Wilson, and your team looks better. You know what I'm saying? They were talking about trading DK Metcalf a couple years ago. They kept him, and it's paying dividends. The Ravens gonna have a handful. That's gonna be a really good. That's gonna be my marquee matchup. So I'm gonna put the Seahawks at number 6. Number 7, I am gonna put the Detroit Lions, and reason being is because 1, Seattle beat Detroit. 2, the Lions were coming off of a bad defeat against the Baltimore Ravens, and even against this game against the Las Vegas Raiders. We talked about this last night. Devontae Adams was wide open plenty of times. That Lions secondary was still giving up a lot of openness, if that's even a word. Like I said, you gave up 357 yards to Lamar Jackson. Like I said, Jimmy G just can't get the ball to nobody. That's what this comes to. Jimmy G was benched today. Jimmy G just can't get the ball to nobody. That's the reason why the Raiders didn't score more than 14 points. The Lions secondary still was giving up stuff, but they're still 6-2. They're still the second best team in the NFC. So I'm not going to complain, but reality, they could be 6 but I haven't liked the way they looked the last 2 games, even though they won on Monday night. That Ravens game is still a bad stench. You know what I'm saying? And so it is what it is. Number 8, they are on a 3-game losing streak. And I was kind of like, all right, I can't drop them too far because we already know when they're healthy, this is a good team. And that's the San Francisco 49ers. 49ers got great defense. Even though they lost to the Bengals are an up-and-coming team. Like they're getting back to looking like how they're supposed to. And we'll get to them in a minute. But San Francisco, like I said, 3-game losing streak. They still got talent. They got injuries. We already know on paper what this team is capable of. So I've got to put them there. Now they got a tough matchup against the Jaguars because they got to go to Jacksonville. And they could be on a 4-game losing streak because the way Jacksonville is playing right now, with a 5-game win streak, this may not look good for the 49ers. They may lose their 4th straight game, and then if that's the case, they're going to fall out the top 10. They're hanging on. Like, it's hard to put a team that has a 3-game losing streak in the top 10, but when you know that how good they are, you know what I'm saying, because of injuries. But if they lose this next game, they're going to definitely fall to the top 10 easily. Number 9, this team was on a bye week this week, but they're 5-2. And you know, it's kind of tough because you lost Micah Parsons. I mean, not Micah Parsons. You lost Diggs. You lost Diggs, but still, the Dallas Cowboys are still a good team. You know what I'm saying? They come off a bye week, and I think who do they play next? They come off their bye week. They play I'm sorry, I'm wrong. They didn't come off a bye week. I'm tripping. Excuse me. They beat the brakes off the Rams. I apologize. They didn't. Forgive me. They beat the brakes off the Rams. Excuse me. I apologize. I thought they was coming off a bye week. When is their bye week? They must have already had a bye week. Because they're 5-2. So they already had a bye week somewhere in there. But they beat the brakes off the Rams 43-20. And not to say that the Rams are a good team, but yo, Chaza, what's up, man? Great to see y'all in the house, man. They beat the brakes off of the Los Angeles Rams. So, you know, the Dallas Cowboys are definitely a great team. All right, number what team? That was at 6, 7, 8, 9. So number 10 is a team that is up and down and up and down, but I still think they have a talented roster, and that would be the Buffalo Bills. Like one week they look, like I said, the week they beat Miami, they look really good. And then some other games, they got the brakes beat off of them. I'm like, what is up with Buffalo? Like Buffalo has the talent to be a good team. You know what I'm saying? They lost to New England. That game was pretty bad. You lost the first game of the season to the Jets. You lost to the Jaguars, and I'm not going to say that. Losing to the Jaguars is no slouch because it's the Jaguars, but you lost to the Patriots. Now, you rebounded against Tampa Bay. That's nice. Like I said, Baker Mayfield, you know, I don't expect Tampa to be going places, but you beat Tampa. You barely beat them, though. You barely beat them. Buffalo Bills should easily be at least 6-2 or 7-1 because they shouldn't have lost. If you can beat a team like Miami 48-20, you should really be able to beat anybody. You shouldn't have lost to the Jets. You shouldn't have lost to the Patriots. What's goody? Yo, Retro Gang, what's goody? Retro Gang supporting Retro Gang. I appreciate that. What's goody? So yeah, so that's in my top 10. All right, so let's get to number 11. A team that is actually, like I said earlier, a team that's actually up and coming on the rise. And I was really debating about putting this team here because technically they're the last place in the division, but they're the hottest team outside of the Ravens in the division. That would be the Cincinnati Bengals at number 11. I was really it was hard to put the Bengals here because the Browns and the Steelers are ahead of you, and the Browns already beat you. And if I'm not mistaken, did the Steelers, have they played the Steelers yet? The Bengals, have they played the Steelers yet? They have not played the Steelers yet. But the Browns beat them already this year, badly. On top of that, even though Joe Burrow was hurt, it was kind of hard to put this team ahead of those teams because you're in your last place. But they on a 3-game win streak. You just beat the 49ers. You just beat who else did they beat? You just beat the 49ers. You beat Seattle. You beat Seattle. You beat 2 teams that's in my top 10 in this 3-game win streak. And you beat Arizona. So you beat 3 West Coast teams. 2 of them was on the road. The Bengals are streaking at the right time. And as much as I hate to say as a Ravens fan, the Bengals are streaking at the right time. You know what I'm saying? So they gotta go as number 11. Number 12, another team that's also streaking, and I was kind of like not gonna put them in here, is the New York Jets. But when you get a win, when you gotta win, you just beat the New York Giants, even though you barely won that game. But when you beat the Philadelphia Eagles and the Denver Broncos with basically no offense, with no real solid quarterback play, I mean, I gotta show the Jets some love. They on the 3-game win streak, and they beat the Eagles in the process. Yeah, I didn't like how they looked against the Giants, but the Giants are garbage, and so is the Jets offense. But they still managed to win. So I'm gonna show the Jets some love at number 12. Number 13, another team that's streaky. Another team that's streaking in a good way, but they lost their starting QB in Kirk Cousins, but they won 3 in a row. And that would be the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I know it was kind of tough to put the Vikings this high up because of how they started 0-3, and they lost 4 out of the first 5 games. So it was kind of hard to put them here, but they're streaking. You beat, not that they beat Chicago, San Francisco, a battered San Francisco team on Monday night, and they beat Green Bay, who's streaking in the wrong direction. But nonetheless, a 3-game win streak is a 3-game win streak. Now, but here's the thing: they don't have their starting quarterback. Jason the Great knows they just traded for Joshua Dobbs from the Arizona Cardinals. Is he Kirk Cousins?
Oh, hell no!
Okay. He ain't Kirk Cousins. He ain't Kirk Cousins. He ain't. He just ain't Kirk Cousins. He ain't. So I don't think I'm not sure if I can project Minnesota to continue to go trending in that direction. But for right now, I'm only basing this off of how you've been playing last week and are you streaking. They won 3 in a row. I gotta show them some love. Oh, Kurt Warner. If you bring back Kurt Warner, I mean.
Oh, hell no! Okay.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring back Kurt, yeah, exactly. I take Kurt Warner. I take Kurt Warner honestly in retirement over Joshua Dobbs. At least Kurt Warner knows how to read a defense. Yo, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but what's good, man? Welcome into the power rankings. Atilia, welcome into the power rankings. How you feeling today, man? Yeah, Jason, you're absolutely right, dog. Joshua Dobbs, he learns how to read a defense. I don't know what he's gonna do with this Minnesota team, but you got to realize Minnesota needed a quarterback badly. You just lost your main quarterback. You know what I'm saying, for the rest of the season. Joshua Dobbs is a good pickup. I guess. I mean, who was out there realistically? Ryan Tannehill, like who Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, hell no.
Who else was out there? I don't know. I'm trying to think who else would have been out there. I mean, Ryan, I guess you got what you got. I mean, I don't know if anybody wants. I mean, then again, I might want Ryan Tannehill over Joshua Dobbs. You know what I'm saying? At least Tannehill's had some playoff success. All right. Anyway, Minnesota Vikings are going at number 13. Number 14, I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. You lost to a team that's streaking. I do like Pittsburgh's defense. You know, they have got blown out at times against the Houston Texans. They got beat against the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is no slouch. But they do have wins against the Ravens on their record. They lost to they did lose to they lost to San Francisco. They lost to Houston. That Houston game was crazy. You lost to Houston 30-6. That's crazy. But they don't really have an offense. The most points that they put up in the season is 26 points. That's the most points they put up all season was 26. Their offense is not that good, but their defense, when it wants to play, looks pretty good. You gave up 20 points to Jacksonville, 17 to the Rams. You only gave up 10 to the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? So their defense can play. I still don't like their offense. I'm not a big fan of Kenny Pickett. But then again, I'm not a big fan of the Steelers at all. But anyway, I'm taking personal feelings out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking my personal feelings out of it. I don't like the Steelers, but I really don't like their offense. But anyway, number 15, I'm gonna put the Cleveland Browns on, honestly, because fucking Deshaun Watson, he's in the lineup, he's out the lineup. He's being paid $230 million guaranteed, and the man has barely played. 1 minute is PJ Walker, 1 minute is what's the other quarterback they got in there? He played the Ravens. I forgot what the guy's name. And then there's no disrespect. I don't remember what. Am I live? What happened? What happened with the stream? Okay, I think I'm live. Can anybody in the stream hear me? Jason the Great, anybody? I don't know if I'm assuming I'm live. Okay. Where was I at? Steelers. Okay, so the Browns. So the Browns, like I said, I'm live. Okay, cool. Because I don't know what was going on right there. With the Browns, like I said, Deshaun Watson, he's getting paid $230 million. Sometimes he plays, sometimes he don't play. They got a different quarterback, but their defense is good. So I'm gonna give the Browns some credit and give them number 15 because I like their defense. And if Deshaun Watson actually comes back and plays and he's healthy, that's gonna be a good team with that defense. And here's where it starts getting like, all right, you can just start throwing any team in this bracket. So we're at number 16, and 16 through 20. This is where you just start getting to just average teams, of course. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna throw the Saints at number 16 because I like their defense, and I like and they got a win. They just recently got a win in their last game. But that whole NFC South is like whatever. Like yeah, the Falcons are technically ahead of the division, but I think the Saints are a better team. They have a better offense. They have a better defense. The Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, what's going on, Jimin? What's going on, Jimin? The Atlanta Falcons have a negative plus minus. And like Jason told me, like Jason said yesterday, Desmond Ridder is not even their starting QB anymore. So like I don't know what's going on with the Atlanta Falcons. They got a nice top tight end, and what is his name? I can't forget the tight end's name. The superstar tight end. Somebody remind me in the chat. I'm thrown off right now with the names, but I don't like that quarterback situation. I don't know what they're doing, but they are 2-0 in the division. The Atlanta Falcons are 2-0 in the division, but I think the Saints are a better team. So I'm gonna put the Saints at number 16, and then I'm gonna put the Falcons out of respect because they are the division winners. I'm gonna put the Falcons at number 17. We don't need to elaborate much with this NFC South because it's the NFC South. Like, who really cares here? Number 18, I'm gonna give it to the Los Angeles Chargers. Ahmad, what's going on with you, man? How you feeling today? Welcome in. Welcome in. I don't know if that's the same Ahmad I know. I don't know. I know a couple of Ahmads, but what's goody? I'm gonna give it to the Los Angeles Chargers because the Chargers to me are one of the best 3 and 4 teams out there in terms of talent. They lost some tough games. They lost to the Dallas Cowboys. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. They lost to the Miami Dolphins at the beginning of the year. I think that the Chargers are the best 3 and 4 team out there. I really do. I honestly could make a case that they're better than this NFC South, but because they're 3 and 4, I'm gonna leave them at 3. I'm gonna leave them at number 18. But I think they have potential to go up if they continue. They play the New York Jets. That should be a win. Then they play the Lions. That's gonna be a good game. That's gonna be a good game because that'll be at home for the Chargers. All right, number 19. I got on my list because now we started getting to teams that are 3 and 4 and below, and so this is where it starts being like a pick 'em at this point. But I'm gonna give it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, granted, they haven't been playing that well lately. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They were, like I said, they were 3 and 1 at one point. They were 3 and 1, but they do play the Houston Texans at Houston. That could be a game they win. That could be a game that they lose. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Farhad Ahmad, what's going on with you? Welcome in. Welcome in. I'm gonna give it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't like how they're playing right now, but out of what's left, you know what I'm saying? Now, my number 20 team, this is going to surprise some people because a lot of people are probably wondering, why do I have this team this high up? But reality is a lot of teams aren't good, and this team is actually, even when they lose games, they're not losing them badly. And I'm going to go to the Houston Texans at number 20. Yes, they are 3 and 4. Yes, they are. They are 3 and 4. But they have the highest plus minus out of any 3 and 4 team at plus 20 to have a negative record. They play good defense, and if you look at their games, let's look at their games. They did lose to Carolina though. That was kind of a bad one. I mean, you lose to Carolina, that's not a good game. But 15 points allowed. The Saints, they only gave up 13 points. The Falcons, they only gave up 21 points. The Steelers, they only gave up 6 points. Their defense is pretty good, and CJ Stroud is on the up and up. In my Lupe voice, he's on the up and up. So I'm gonna give it to the Houston Texans at number 20. All right, so that's my top 20. Now here's where it starts getting like, okay, I don't really care about the power rankings anymore, because then you start getting into teams that are like who cares? All right, so number 21 on this list, I'm gonna give it to shit. I mean, none of these teams are any good. None of these teams are any good. I mean, I'm gonna give it to the Commanders by default here, because the Commanders, I mean, they haven't looked good since the early part of the season. But I mean, reality is there's nothing else here. There's nothing else here. I mean, maybe I could give it to the Denver Broncos. They have won 2 games in a row. What do you guys think here at number 21? I'm thinking between Broncos, Commanders, because the Broncos have won 2 in a row. They just beat Patrick Mahomes. The Commanders have not been playing good though. They're streaking down. At least the Broncos have won 2 in a row for me to justify them. As bad as they looked all season, and they gave up 70 points, I think I'm gonna give it to the Broncos. I think I am. I'm gonna give it to the Denver Broncos because, like I said, they're the best of what's here. Then number 22, I'm gonna give it to the Washington Commanders. 23, I'm gonna give it to the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans. Number 24, I'm gonna give it to. Damn, all these teams suck. Good, all these teams suck. I'm gonna give it, even though they got spanked and they're not really trending up, I'm gonna give it to the Los Angeles Rams. Even though they stink. Even though they stink though. 25, I'm gonna give it to, I guess maybe the Colts. The Colts have lost 3 in a row. What out of these teams, who is streaking right now? The Giants lost, the Patriots lost, the Raiders look absolute garbage. I know, right? Like, it's, like all these teams are garbage. Like, it's really hard to pick a team here. The Green Bay Packers have been trash since week number 3. They've been trash since week 3 and week 4. The Cardinals didn't win. Didn't the Panthers win? I can't put a team with 1 win. I'm gonna give it to the Colts. I'm gonna give it to the Colts. Honestly, even with a 3-game losing streak, I'm gonna give it to the Colts. Number 26, I'm gonna give it to Cardinals, Panthers. They both got 1 win. The Bears, they do got 2 wins. Green Bay has been trending down. I can't give Is Las Vegas? Well, I mean, they just fired their GM and their coach. They can't be that high up. Maybe. I mean, this is embarrassing. I mean, I guess, okay, I give it to Las Vegas Raiders only because they got 3 wins. The only team that got 3 wins that's left, but they're not good. I'm gonna give it to Las Vegas just because they're the only team with 3 wins. But in reality, they don't belong there. 27, I'm gonna give it to. Jeez, this is. I feel like it's harder to pick this than the top 5. I really do. I feel like this is harder to do than the top 5. Patriots are garbage. The Patriots did beat the Eagles a couple weeks ago. Green Bay has not looked good. Chicago has looked much better than their beginning of their season. Panthers got their first win. I'm gonna say the New England Patriots. Yo, John, what's goody with you? Welcome in. How you feeling today? I'm gonna say the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots, I'm gonna say. And that's really saying something, because that's how bad these other teams are. But the Patriots had the best win of the season against the Eagles. I mean, not the Eagles, against the who did they beat the other day? Like a couple weeks, they beat Buffalo. They got the best win that's on this list in Buffalo, and they beat the New York Jets. But that ain't really saying nothing. All right, number 20. Where we at? 28. Boy, this is. I'm gonna give it to the Jets. I can't give it to the Giants. The Giants are garbage. I guess we're gonna give it to the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears, they did beat the Commanders down that one Monday night game. I don't even know if I can give this to the Bears. This is. Who are they? They beat Vegas. They lost. No, I can't give it to the Bears. The Packers have not looked good. Yeah, JC, this, you know how hard this is. I can't get the Bears. The Cardinals and the Panthers are definitely at the bottom list. So we're really debating between Bears, Packers, and Giants here. And let's look head-to-head matchups. The Packers beat the Bears early in the season, so I can't say the Bears. Who have the Giants beat? The Giants haven't beat. Who they beat? They lost to a Jets team that has no offense. They beat Washington and they beat Arizona. So that's not saying anything. So I guess even with a 4-game. I'm going to give it to the Packers. I'm going to give it to the Packers. Even with a 4-game losing streak, I'm going to give it to the Packers. I really am. And then from there, I'm going to give it to the Chicago Bears. Why is this so difficult? Chicago Bears have beaten nobody. They beat Vegas. They beat the Commanders. The New York Giants are absolutely hideous. Absolutely hideous. But they do have a win against the Cardinals, which they ain't saying nothing. They got a win against Washington, who's trending down. I'm actually going to give this to the Giants. They have no. I'm looking at their off. They're the only team in the NFL that has yet to score 100 points for total. They had 95 total points this season. That is absolutely crazy. They don't even have 100 points for the season. That is unreal. You have 8. Like, listen to this. The New York Giants have scored. Listen to this. They're the only team that doesn't even have 100 points this season. They scored 0 the first game. They scored 31 against. That was their most they scored against the Cardinals. They scored 12 points against 49ers. They scored 3 points against Seattle. 16 points against Miami, 9 points against Buffalo, 14 points against the Commanders, and 10 points against the Jets. I can't put a team that don't even have 100 points at this part. So at this point, I'm gonna have to go with the Chicago Bears. At least the Chicago Bears have 100. At least they can score sometimes. So I'm gonna have to give it to the Chicago Bears. Okay, now the Giants did beat the Cardinals, so I can't put the Giants. I can't put the Cardinals ahead of the Giants. The Panthers got their first win. The Panthers got their first win against who do they play this week? They got a nice win against Houston, because Houston, I like Houston's defense. But I can't say the Panthers are a good team. I'm gonna have to say, and then the Cardinals. I mean, this is the Cardinals. Now here's the thing with the Cardinals, they have looked good in some games though. Like they beat Dallas. They look pretty okay against the Ravens. I thought the Ravens were gonna blow them out. They looked okay against Seattle. They should have beat the Giants early in the year. They blew that game, even though the Giants are garbage. Am I really gonna put the Cardinals here? Am I really gonna put the Cardinals here? I can't put the Cardinals here. They're just official. What's up, by the way, man? What's goody with you, man? What's good, official? Let's celebrate that Josh McDaniels. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're a Raiders fan, right? Yeah. Matter of fact, I was live streaming last night when that happened, and they broke the news. Jason broke the news. We're gonna call him Adam Schefter Jr. We're gonna call Jason Adam Schefter Jr. for breaking the news on my live stream yesterday that the Raiders fired McDaniels and the GM. So we're gonna call you Adam Schefter Jr. I'm not a hater. I'm being real. The Cardinals, the Cardinals have looked good in some games, but I can't put the Giants ahead of the. I can't put the Cardinals ahead of the Giants when they beat them in a head-to-head. So I'm gonna have to put the Giants here. I'm gonna have to put the Cardinals at 31 and the Panthers at 32, and that is my power rankings. That's my power rankings, and it's hard to put the Giants ahead of anybody when we only score 95 points for the year. Let me do the math here. Let me just do the math here. Just for some shits and giggles here. Let's just do the math. So they play 8 games and they score 95 points. So that means you're averaging 11.8. You're averaging 11.8 points a game. That's crazy. When you have Saquon I mean, I know they don't got really much, but you got Saquon Barkley. You did have Daniel Jones. You paid him. I mean, you paid him $45 million a year, even though I think that contract still doesn't make any sense. But you paid him that much money. He ain't producing. Tyrod Taylor has actually looked better. Anyway, I'm done ranting. Here's my power rankings. You guys can after this video comment what you think your rankings are. So once again, Eagles at number 1, Ravens at number 2, Dolphins at 3, Jaguars at 4, Chiefs at 5, Seahawks 6, Lions 7, San Francisco 8, Dallas 9, Buffalo 10, Bengals 11, Jets 12, Vikings 13, Steelers are at 14, Browns at 15, Saints at 16, Falcons at 17, Chargers 18, Tampa Bay at 19, Texans at 20, 21 is Broncos, 22 is Commanders, 23 is Titans, and that's even debatable because the Titans might even be better than the Commanders. Rams at 21, 22, 23, 24, Colts at 25, Raiders 26. The Raiders could be lower than that. 27 is Patriots, 28 is Packers, 29 is Bears, 30 is Giants, 31 Cardinals, 32 is the Panthers. All right, everybody, that is my rankings. You feel free to chime in after the video what your rankings are. I had not had a chance to look at Stephen A's rankings at A-List, but I'm pretty sure it may look something like mine, maybe a different order. I know we know Eagles are number 1. Ravens, to me, it should be 8-0. Dolphins put up almost 70 points on the team. They're consistent. Jaguars have won 5 in a row. Chiefs look bad, but they're still the Chiefs. The Seahawks and Ravens game is going to determine a lot, because if the Ravens win that game and the Eagles lose, then the Ravens are going to be my number 1 team. If the Seahawks win and the Ravens lose, that's going to bump the Seahawks into my top 5. And, you know, so it's a lot this week is going to happen. We got the 49ers versus the Jaguars. That's going to be a good matchup. If the 49ers win, that could bump the 49ers back into my top 5. You know, so we got some good matchups. And so we'll have to see how the games play out for next week, for next week's rankings. Anyway, we're going to be doing these power rankings every Wednesday going forward instead of Tuesday. So hope to see you for hope to see you guys for the next one. Official Jason, who else popped up in here? David Clemens, Atarza, Retro Gang, Ahmad, John Pork, Farhat Ahmad, thank you guys for coming through. Jason the Great, it was a pleasure. This is the first time I've seen you on one of the sports videos. I appreciate you, because I know you're an anti-social motherfucker, but I appreciate you. So thank you for coming through. Thank you guys for coming through. I got my week 9 prediction videos tomorrow. That's gonna be a YouTube short. I'm just gonna run through who I think is gonna win each individual matchup. That's a YouTube short. Be on the lookout for that tomorrow. You guys have a great day. See you later.